And hello and welcome.
Hello, everyone. Excited to see you all coming in. We are live on Facebook and here in Zoom.
Woo!
Got a small group with us today.
Let's see. Oh my gosh, I love our topic. So, those of you here, we're talking about AI and general ledgers. And so, we're going to be doing a couple of demos and poking around. And
We
for
are.
anyone who wants to come on camera or be unmuted, we'd love to have you join us.
I don't think they
That's-
can, Liz, because we're in webinar. We're in more webinar mode today.
Well, when we get to that part, we can always
We can
allow them to talk.
we can allow everybody to talk. So for
Yeah.
sure. Awesome. So excited to have all of you with us today. We're going to do something very fun. Um, we're going back to our roots. We're going to be doing some demo and showing. Oh, am I hard to hear? Somebody said I'm hard to hear. Well, I have this here. Is that better? Oh, good.
You sound
All right.
great.
All right. Well, you'll be able to see my. All right. Good. Awesome. So, as I was saying, we're going to go into demo of three applications today. We're going to talk about AI, the future of AI. You know, we're hearing about AI in general ledgers. Well, we're going to actually go in and play. We're going to tinker in them today. So, we're going to be taking a look at QuickBooks, Digits,
Mhm.
and puzzle. So
Yeah.
those are the three that we're going to be diving into. And what I will tell you is that we are not experts. We're obviously experts in QuickBooks, but the AI is new to us too, because it just, the new features have just been released. But puzzle and digits were new to. And what's really cool about it is that it used to be, Liz, that when you would go in and set up a new accounting, platform, it was a lot of work. And if you didn't know what you were doing, you really couldn't do it. But now it's so easy. They ask you all these questions, and I want to say it's so easy. Let me back that up a minute. It's very streamlined. We are experts, so we know what we're doing, but it does walk you through. It's definitely easier than it used to be. Hi, Liz. Nice to see you. All right. So, Liz, you want to share your screen and drive the deck? Are you cool with that?
I'm totally cool with that. I was reading
Awesome.
our chat with our nice hellos, so I
Oh, and we are drinking
go
today. I
back.
have my wine and
Oh
Liz,
my gosh.
yeah. We if we're talking AI, we gotta have our
And it's fall, so I've got my Sam Adams
yeah.
Oktoberfest. Yum. And it's actually, I don't normally put it in a glass, but it's actually orange. So,
Oh, I love
yeah.
orange. So there's a really cute brewery right down the road from my house. I think it's less than a mile from my house. And they have a lot of different beers, and you're gonna love it, Liz, when you come visit. You're gonna love this place. But I was there over the weekend and they had a pineapple jalapeno cider. It was so good. And I was like,
Yum.
this is either going to be amazing or horrible. It was delicious. I would definitely order it again. But when you hear about pineapple jalapeno or habanero, it was pineapple
Yeah.
habanero. It was so good. And I'm in Connecticut. Who knew?
That's so cool. I
I
love
know.
all the local breweries. They're fun and they've
Hmm.
got so many different flavors. And the thing that's popping up around me are sours. So breweries that are making sour beers,
Yeah.
which, a lot of those are so
Ooh.
fruity and I love them. So yummy, yummy.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. All right. That's us. You get to go first this time. I feel like I always go first. So I'm throwing
Oh,
you to go first this time.
well, if you insist. So I am gonna say hello to my friends because I think that we do have a small group today and they're all my friends. So hi. Y'all know me and you know the things that I like to do is tinker with tech. And I think that the way that my brain works is I'm always trying to create a process, which is why I love developing training. So that's my sweet spot. That's what I enjoy doing. A good day for me is a few meetings and a lot of development and training. Those are my favorite days. I love the heads down work. It seems like a lot of days I spend in meetings. And so whenever I get to just spend time developing, it's just such a treat.
100%. I could not agree more. I love doing creating new things, tinkering, figuring things out. And I'm
Hmm.
just like you, very process driven. So I need to create a map to be most
Okay.
efficient. So love that.
And
Awesome.
maybe it's
Oh,
that
so
ADHD brain.
totally. So who am I? Like I almost didn't introduce myself. I'm Heather Satterley. Again, all of our friends are on here. So if I haven't met you, hi, I'm Heather. I am a
Sorry.
CPA and the director of education and media, and I'm really happy to be here. Oh, at Woodard, the director of education and media. That's just what I do. I'm like the Wizard of Oz. No, um, at Woodard. So yeah. So thank you to our sponsors. These are our wonderful sponsors. You stopped sharing your screen, Liz.
I did because for some reason I accidentally hit a little button that was doing some. Why am I got the little dots? I want to go back and forth. I
I
don't
like
want.
your dots.
Well, yeah, my dots are great, but
You're
look,
giving
it's
it
just,
freckles. I love
uh-huh.
it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
You're
doing nothing but
decorating
hitting
as we
dots.
go. I love it. So a huge thank you to our sponsors of Appy Hour. They make it possible for us to do this twice a month and do really fun things with all of you guys. And so we're very, very grateful.
I agree. We are very grateful. And I'm going to try and share screen this time without the little dots. We're going to see. I don't know what to say. I just have dots. I must have
You
hit
just it
something.
just you just have dots. It's
I
okay.
do.
Your
Yeah, but
your your Zoom has the measles. Chicken
but I
pox.
can't advance is the thing.
Oh, you can't. Well, just use the arrow key. Use the arrow key instead of your mouse.
But it would be lovely if that oh
It
victory.
worked.
I don't
Also, a huge thank you to our champagne level sponsor, Zero. Zero, we've had a really fun so far. I mean, we're not even through the year, but we've had a lot of fun learning more about Zero. I got to participate in two of their road shows this year. I was in Austin and Chicago. They're actually live at a road show today in New York City. I think this may be the last one. But if you didn't attend one, they're amazing. And we just heard from them, so we met with them earlier today. They're actually launching a road show in Canada. So if you're joining us from Canada, Zero's coming to a city near you in Canada. And of course, they are also doing ZeroCon in Brisbane, which
ah,
I used to always say Brisbane because, but it's Brisbane. And I was really hoping to go this year, but I'm expecting a new grandchild, and there's lots of reasons that going to Australia isn't in the cards for me this year.
I think it totally makes sense. So
Hmm.
there's always next time.
There is always next time. So, what are we doing today, Liz? We already said we were doing, but you can say it again. Besides drinking, actually.
We are talking about brand new AI in the various different GLs. Whether you love it, you hate it. I mean, I see conversations all the time on social media, and there's such a mixed review that, I think this is brand new to us. And a lot of the things that we've seen aren't fully baked yet. So we're going to talk about those items, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I'm seeing. And it's going to be, it's an adventure, is really what I think the AI in accounting is right now.
It has been an adventure, and it's going to continue to be an adventure. I mean, I remember I saw Allie Miller at Digital CPA last December, and she said it best. And I tell myself this all the time: is she said, you know what, AI today is the worst it's ever going to be.
Mm.
And every day when you're using it, you can tell you this is the worst it's ever going to be. It's just going to get better and better. So, where are we? We're going to dig into that today to say, where are we right now? Where are we headed? And then we're going to dig into some tools to kind of show you, do little demos. And they're us demos. Like, we're not experts in, well, QuickBooks, I would say we're experts in, but Puzzle and Digits, we're just exploring.
I
So
think that's
you
the
guys
best
are
way
gonna
to do
explore
it.
with us and ask us questions. We're gonna let everybody talk to ask us questions. And if you want
Yeah,
us to click and go there, we can do that.
absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, I think I'll start here. And the reason I want to start here is I had a great opportunity at Scaling New Heights for those of you who have done the show floor tours before. They're super great opportunities. Those of you who haven't done it before, let me kind of back up and like share what happens. So there's a schedule where you can sign up to join these tours on the show floor, and you have a guide who will take you around and talk to these different apps for you, and you can hear it. And so it's kind of like a really quick speed dating opportunity to learn a lot of apps really, really fast within an hour. I think you get to visit like 8 to 10 apps. So I was asked this year to lead the GL tour. And I was already excited about several of the GLs and the updates that were happening. So I took this as an opportunity to run with it. And there's an article that I think just published a week ago or so in the Woodard Report, and it talks through all of the different GL apps that we went through. But one of the questions that I asked of each of those GLs is tell us about your AI roadmap. And some of them were more advanced than others. Some of those, QuickBooks has done quite a bit in the AI space, and we're going to talk about that. But then other apps were starting to do some partnership and they had a roadmap, but they hadn't really fully developed their AI solutions yet. So it was great to tell them this is what we're looking for as far as staying competitive. We have to have these solutions that have got AI built into it. And I think that where the honest piece comes in from our perspective of using it is that it's in development. So these features are, have got a lot of big promise and they haven't fully delivered yet. And it's like you were just saying, Heather, I like the quote that you were using that this is the worst that it ever will be, also applies to AI in the GLs.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I think that, they came MVP, which we usually know as most valuable player, also means minimum viable product. And so when you're talking about in the development space, you're talking about being agile. You guys have probably heard of agile methodology. Uh, MVP is a big part of being agile. And the reason for that is these developers they get an idea, they create the project, and then they want to push it out, usually in the form of betas, alphas, then betas, to get feedback, to basically see, is this something that we need to invest our time and resources into to develop out further? And so the minimum viable product, really, it's infuriating to us accountants. We see it all over social media, right? Where something gets released, it's not quite ready, and it disrupts our work, right? So pushing it out into a mature product, right? That's a risk because you've got, a business is depending on it. If you're, vetting something that's relatively new or you're doing a initial launch, you'll see that a lot of these software developers will do the freemium. They'll do the freemium model where you first get it you get it for free, and then it'll be really cheap, and then they'll start to raise the prices up as they start to really fully, build out the product. So that's kind of where we are right now, is that, we're going to be talking about digits, and it was what was it? Catherine was saying, hey, well, they were a reporting tool. Well, that's right. Like a year ago, that's what they were. They were a reporting tool, but now they've offered a full GL, and we're going to see it today. They didn't want to push it out until they were ready. So they didn't want to go the route of MVP and have people be really disappointed in what they delivered. So they actually pulled back and waited until they felt like they had a really good product. So that's what we're going to look at today. And it is really good. What I will say is that, these are still evolving. So they're not perfect. They're great,
Mm-mm.
but they're not perfect. And so they are going to, it's not a situation where we connect everybody's bank feeds and upload documents and it's done. Although Digits did announce last fall that they did have a completely 100% autonomous close in the month of November for one of the companies, meaning that's exactly what happened, was that it was closed, then reviewed by a CPA, and the CPA said, yeah, this is right. So that's pretty exciting. Now, we don't know the complexity of that client. It could have been a client with one bank account with 5 transactions, but it has happened. So, or they claim that it has happened. So it's really exciting. So that's, I'm excited to show people today, but just keep in mind, when you see, Intuit, and we're going to be taking a look at their AI powered bank feeds, there's people that are just not super happy. And, I've been seeing a lot of chatter out on, social media, like, this is slowing me way down. How do I turn this thing off? Right. because it's not quite there. It's new technology. And arguably a minimum viable product. So, but the other thing that we have to understand with AI is AI has to be trained. It has to be trained. Now with digits, they trained it before they released it. That's what their value proposition is. With others like Intuit, I believe that they're training as they go. So I think my personal belief, and I could be completely wrong. So this is not science. I'm saying it right now. I don't know this to be true, but my guess is that the AI powered bank feeds in QuickBooks it's going to continually learn from how we categorize things. So it's just not there yet. As we continue to, fix it,
Hmm.
it will get better and better. And I think that's the plan.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that it's in education. It's in school right now.
It is in school. And, for people that are trying to run a business and getting these bank feeds,
Frustrating.
these transactions categorized and delivered to the client and have it taking a big step backwards, not
Hmm.
fun. And so that's what we're hearing out in the community right now is like, come on, I'm running a business here. I want to be able to opt into an alpha or a beta.
Yep.
So,
And we're going to take a look at that, and we're going to open it up to comments as well, because I think that it's
sure.
important for everybody to be able to say what it is they're experiencing,
Hmm.
and the good and the bad for that.
For sure. Absolutely.
So, all right, my
So let's
little.
go through some of these on the, can you go back? Because I wanted to go
Oh,
through, we
sure.
had them up there, maybe I'm sure they kind of read them while we were talking, but if you didn't, we've got that intuitive system and payroll AI and QuickBooks already. Xero is using AI for auto coding and bank reconciliation. Um, Zoho Books automates smart rules and expense capture, which, these are all types of AI. I mean, OCR technically is a type of artificial intelligence, right? Because all artificial intelligence means is that machines are doing something a human would do, right? So Sage Copilot provides help search and flags GL outliers. We're seeing some of that with Keeper and other apps. And then Puzzle automates bookkeeping real time, as does Digits, which isn't on this slide. So it's already automating it. And then on the roadmap, we've got these agents that just, and it says it's developing them. They're actually out. They're launched. So you can go and play with them. And then Jax, we have live in Xero. So that's actually, live as well. And then Zia AI Assistant with Zoho is coming out. Puzzle is, will continue. They will all continue to build on this. So we're
Mhm.
going to see this become the norm rather than the exception. And I think that's sooner than we think.
I think that's part of this next slide right here too. It's like, why do we care? That, if
Hmm.
why do we care slide? That's what this is. So it's changing the way that we work. So, one of the things that some of the messaging that's out there is AI bookkeeping, no accountant needed. And I'm sure that some of you have seen some of the ads. If you have not, I can share some of the links in chat if you'd like to go watch them yourselves. But some of our solutions, GL solutions that we're using are creating messaging that accountants aren't needed. And the reason that they're creating that messaging is to be able to say the AI is so good that you don't need a human anymore. So spend more money on our software and less money on your accountant. I don't think we're there. So I think that again, that messaging is premature at
Yes.
best. I think that there's things that accountants do that will never be able to be, and bookkeepers never be able to be replaced. And part of that is just the human aspect of the conversation, which is why I do believe it is very important for us to lean more into that human conversation aspect of working with our clients.
I think you're right, Liz. I do believe that AI will be able to I do believe it will be able to replace pretty much everything we do, both on
Yeah.
I do. As far as the task end of it. What I think is going to save us is that not everybody is going to want to use AI. We see it now. I mean, we're really excited in it because of the space that we're into, but there's a lot of people out there that are like, I don't want AI. I don't want to touch it. I don't want it touching my stuff. I don't. So that is the market, right? We have that adoption curve, that adoption bell curve. I just realized I have to go up like this. We're still early. We're still pretty early, and there's a whole lot of people out there that are just not okay with AI yet. So those folks don't want AI touching their stuff. And I think that's going to continue on for quite a while. So the market has to be ready for this fully autonomous, accounting and pushing the human out. And our market's not just, it's not ready for it.
It's not ready for it, but I would say it's kind of like when we started talking about SaaS-based solutions. It's like we knew the cloud was coming and there were parts of us that held back, but ultimately cloud's where we landed. And so that's the way that I feel about AI, is that whether or not you make the choice to AI, the solutions that you're using, really, no matter what the solution is, and it can even be, where's my phone? It can be even be on your phone. Like the apps that we're using are baking in AI, and some of it is AI where you can really see this is an AI solution, and then other times it's a search and you can't really even
Mhm.
see that it's being driven by AI, but we're utilizing AI everywhere, and
We
our
are.
clients are.
And they don't even realize it. But given the
Mhm.
choice, right? Given the choice, they would choose a human.
And 100%. Like you take me back to, the phone, and whenever I dial for help, whatever it is, if I have the choice to be connected to a human, and probably 50% of the time I'm going to say, yeah, I'd rather talk to a human because they're going to be able to understand my needs that aren't on their menu of select 1 through 8 button. So I would definitely say that most of us would prefer the human. That's why right now we're talking about business owner view versus accountant view. Where does AI fit in? I think
Yeah.
that our accountants, our clients are going to be looking for AI friendly accountants more and more.
I think you're right. And I think we're going to see a mix. Like I think we're going to see a mix of people of so I think there's the good news is I think there's place for everybody, right? So, but I do agree with that accountants who use AI will replace those accountants that don't. And I do believe that because I think that they will be the safety net. They will be the buffer, between the clients. So, yeah. And
And
honestly, but our accounting, our businesses, many businesses have always seen accounting as a low value path, like job. Like they haven't valued it, and we've seen that. And hopefully that's starting to change. But yeah, it's unfortunate.
and that sucks in the pricing, realm right now. It's like, there's a lot of surveys that are out talking about accountants raising pricing. Well, it's because a lot of the tech that we're using is expensive and we need to
Yeah,
pay for
for
that. Plus
sure.
the price of labor, we have to pay for that. So I agree that it is very much time to raise fees across the board. So
Hmm.
if we can get everybody to buy in and have this mass raise on accounting fees, I think that's great. I think that it is also has, and this is just me, has the opportunity for some of these solutions to come in and say, oh, well, is your accountant outpricing you?
100%. Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's a weird time right now.
All right, let's keep moving because I want to get into demo.
And I love what Catherine said. Forget about AI. I still know
Yep.
folks who
Sure.
refuse to stop handwriting checks. I hate handwritten checks, but I just had to order some checks the other day and it made me so mad to spend $45 on checks.
And there's still, honestly, Catherine, there's still cash only businesses.
I absolutely, traveling, I saw so many of those,
Yeah,
just this
in
last
on the
few
out
weeks.
here in this, in the beach area where we are seasonal, those ice cream the ice cream stores are notorious for being cash based.
Yeah, which always makes me question their bookkeeping. Different
Right,
thing, different thing. There's
everything. That's
sales
another epic.
tax and ethically, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't get into what I do for a living, so I don't have to care. But shift in the roles, so data entry reconciliation, moving over to data validation. So an advisory. So here's where I think the big shift is. And we're going to look at some of this, but really what accountants are going to experience ultimately is, I would say, a day where you begin by opening up your computer and you go to your workflow tool, whatever that is, and you see little pop-ups that tell you, here's the next thing to do today.
Hmm.
Next thing in bookkeeping, next thing in the email, next thing in, whatever it may be. So whatever those tasks are. So I think that is the place that we're going. And one of those pop-ups is going to be go validate all the data. So quality control. So instead of going through and entering the data, even with bank feeds, you're still clicking a button for the most part. I think instead what we're going to move into and what we're seeing these solutions do is they're auto adding everything. And then what they need you to do at the end of the month is do the quality control. So that's the data validation. And
And
then
I
that
think
advisor piece is that conversation. Go ahead, Heather.
I think at some point that will become few and far between as well. Because I think as everything becomes connected, I think that there will be less quality control to do, which is unfathomable to us now. But I mean, I'm sure lots of you have seen that, right? When you've started using, even QuickBooks with the bank rules, and now we have the AI, which we'll see how that it will get better. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's going to get better, and it's going to be awesome. We're just not there yet. So
I agree. And it's like on this list of new roles, the reconciliation that's still on there. I agree with you though. The reconciliation, the way that it
Mhm.
happens is going to be way more automatic.
So it was interesting. I went into QuickBooks yesterday to go reconcile an account, and they have the AI reconciliation now is live in QuickBooks. And so it prompted me to upload the bank statement. I had to reconcile like a year of bank statements, but with very little activity. And it took too long. I like turned it off and just went in and did my bank because I knew it was right. But it was taking so long to process the bank statement and do, isn't that funny? That,
Yeah.
and maybe it was the matter of like, I guess I could have been like, I'm just gonna let it do its thing and go do something else, which probably would have been the smart thing to do. But for me, I just wanted to move on to the next thing. So, and I knew it wasn't going to take very long. Is that interesting? Anybody else do that? Am I like the only weirdo? I mean, other people probably would have just done something else while it did its job, but I was
You said
impatient.
speed it along.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that we've been talking about this right here. So, the thing that I will call out is the predictive cash flow forecasting. I feel like this is an area that all tools, I have not seen one that's perfect, all tools could be improving in this area. And I would love to see AI continue to help with the cash flow and the forecasting models. They're getting better, but it's not
Yeah.
there yet.
Yeah.
And the assistants and the chatbots, I think that that's where our clients are going to be leaning into more. And us too, but I definitely see our clients utilizing the chatbot solutions that
And I
are
think that we should encourage them to do that because,
100%.
it's like just for, I have a story, an AI story. It's totally a personal AI story, and I know we needed to get demo, but so I just moved. For those of you that I just bought a new house and I moved, and I was painting this office, this very office, and I needed to paint the doors. So I took the doorknob off, but I only took half the doorknob off. I took the doorknob off on the side that I was painting, and I left the regular doorknob. And so then I shut the door.
Which side were you on?
The side where I couldn't get out. And so there was literally no way for me to get out of this office. Like I was there, the windows, if you saw them, the windows, there's no way I would fit through the windows. They're tiny. They're like little tiny windows. I was literally stuck in this room. And so I'm like, okay, what do I do? I'm not going to panic. And so I went over to I had my computer. So I went to ChatGPT and I'm like, I'm locked in a room. I can't get out. This is what I did. And it gave me the answer. It was like, find something and then put it into the doorknob and turn it. And it will, and which most of you are like, Heather, are you really that dumb? I was that dumb. I'll admit it. But ChatGPT saved me. So it's the same thing, right? Like a client is in QuickBooks and they don't know what to do. They can go over to Jax. They can go over to Intuit Assist and say, hey, I need to do this. And it can help them do it. So yeah. Anyway.
I
No,
love that.
and the worst part of this, everyone, is that I had a knife in my room, so I was able to get out. The next morning, I got up, went over and pressed the coffee maker to make the coffee, went into my office to admire my work, and shut the door. Except this time, the knife was in my kitchen because I had taken it out the night before, so I got out again. So, but yeah.
Love that so much. All right, I'm gonna keep us moving. All right, so most of you here have seen the new AI agents. They were announced. For those of you who were like me and did the in the know last week, this is one of the things that they were focused on was the AI agents. And one of the things that they announced during that call was something that I was like, "Ooh, that's actually super cool." Is they were saying if you connect your email to QuickBooks, and this is something that's coming in the future, so it's not live yet, but what you're able to do is then it will help with your sales. So if you've got a new lead, then that lead conversation, it can gather all of the information about what it is that you're going to be doing for that client. So maybe you're going to be reconciling 20 months worth of data. Maybe you're going to do a tax return for them. Maybe they're behind. So it can see all of the activity in the conversation and it can actually start an estimate for you. And
Wow.
then as far as the dollar amount, it did have an option to pull in your items. And so if your items have got dollar amounts, then it would pull in the dollar value associated with those items. But to me, I thought that was actually really, really cool.
That is really cool. And I got to tell you, I mean, I've been in QuickBooks a lot the last, week or so, and I'm impressed. I really am impressed. I mean, it's coming along the new interface. I actually have an article coming out on the Woodard Report this week. My review of what I like and what I don't love. Um, Overall, I think I like it. What I don't love about it, and if anybody agrees with me, throw it in the chat, is I feel like and it could just be a learning curve. So I totally get it that it's new. So I wanted to give it that, but it felt like it was difficult. Like the navigation actually got harder. That when I went to go onto the left nav bar and then I had to
Mhm.
select something, sometimes it would lose it. So I had to do it like a couple of times. And that really frustrated me because, I've been working. And again, when you're trying to get work done, these little things can really, really irritate you.
They add
Um,
up.
what's that?
I said they add up. Those
They do add
frustrations
up.
add up.
So, and agreed that I couldn't find things. Yeah. And I don't know if Jennifer, I'm sure they hid things. I haven't been looking for the things. The only thing that I couldn't find, and then I eventually did, was the memo field when I was in the bank feeds, and it was way down the page. So I was looking for, I appreciated when I was filling out in the bank feeds when you're categorizing transactions. I liked the fact that I could tab, 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 tab. And now I totally was like, where do I put a memo? And you have to scroll down for it. So that I didn't like. But anyway, you guys, now you're not going to read my article because I just, I'm telling you these things. Um, but overall, I liked the look of it.
Mhm.
I loved the little things across the top. And again, I digress because that's a whole nother episode. So,
Well, let me dive in over here and I'll
oh, great. Yeah.
share. So this is a demo file that I've got, and this is what you're talking about. Harder to find things.
Yeah.
I
And the
agree. I
things
don't
across the
love this.
top, I liked those things across the top. But yeah, when you go over them, it's like when you hover over on the left-hand side, it
Are you talking
just isn't, it doesn't hold it long enough,
about? Well, like if it's not open, you can't access any of it.
Right. And you
Yeah.
can pin three, which is cool, but I'm gonna want more than three,
Yep.
and I'm wondering what Right Tool does to all of this, because I'm guessing Right Tool solves pretty much all of it, but I don't know if that got messed up now because they've changed the interface or not. I'm not a
Yeah.
Right Tool user, so.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think that we're all let me jump over here because the thing that I keep hearing the most about is on social media, the bank feeds. So I'm going to walk through the bank feeds. I am going to say, as far as in chat, please share your thoughts and your experience with the bank feeds because I'm going to go through the things that
Yeah, please do.
are cool, and then I'm going to share some of the stuff that they're promoting as new, but it's not. So one thing they're promoting as new is some of the rule stuff. We had that before. So if I
We
come over
did.
here and I look in um, my description, I can edit my rule here. So that's been available to us all along. One of the
Yeah, I
things,
see the memo for you. For me, it was in a different place list. It's so weird.
oh, okay, interesting. Well,
Yeah.
So, talking about the memo, one of the things I do like is say that we've got Office Depot here, and so it's $965. If I wanted to ask my client a question, I could say that,
Ooh,
what is this for? All right, so I can actually create that request there. And
cool.
I can say, ask for a receipt, whatever. But then I can also see, here's my note. So I can
Mm-hmm.
come back to it and I can see the conversation. This is
That's
nice.
right. We used to have that years ago in like I want to say 2012 to like 2015. We actually had this feature where we could chat with our clients on the transaction and they got rid of it. So I'm happy to see it back.
I'm happy to see it back. I think that one of the things I've got a question about is this is brand new, so this is a little bit of an unfair question, but is anybody using this with their client? Because one of the things that they're saying is that if you hover over this for more information, you can have it'll tell you that it can be for your team or it can be for your client. Is
Love
anybody
that.
using this for their client?
I'd love to hear that too. It could be
Um,
that they didn't know it existed because it is new.
It is new, fair enough. One of the other things that I would say too is if I come over here and I can see the AI pieces. So
Mm-hmm.
it will tell me from, and it'll give me a little bit of a suggestion on who and what. And the same thing for, this is not a great example. I wish I had a couple of more here, but it will also tell me like what that transaction has been coded like in the past.
Right.
So this is a brand new type of transaction. So I sent a client question off and I said, hey, you're renting now. So is this something that's new? Did you get a new location? Did you move out of your home office?
I
Anyways, had
I
that
had
question.
a fail on that yesterday where I had, and you're actually going to see it. Well, I'm not going to go in the demo because you're doing this demo, but on mine, I actually had a transaction that had been in the file a bunch of times and it didn't
Mm,
recognize it. So I don't know why that was. I didn't look into it, but it didn't. I was surprised that it didn't know what it was.
it didn't work for you.
Mm-mm. It could have been like, how the old version is like if it was over 6 months old or something like that, you had to manually match it, right? For matches.
Oh, yep.
Maybe it's got something to do with that. Like if it's too old, it won't recommend it.
I'm going to tell you that is where our team is struggling the most. So matches right now, the new bank feeds and matches, it's having a hard time with.
Yeah.
So it's not recognizing transactions that already exist in QuickBooks. And so coming through the bank feeds, it should automatically find a match and it's not.
Yeah.
Let's see, Jennifer, it took a long time for my team to find the app integrations. Okay, so, third-party apps. Stripe, I'm sure would be in there too. Amazon, PayPal. Yeah, that's one of the things that we're hearing is a bit of a pain. And then
Hmm.
the other thing, I think this is actually cool. Let me show a transaction. In the past, what we had was the opportunity inside of the transaction itself to add a class.
Yes.
Now we have the class or the location or the customer
That's
or the
cool.
product and service that
Yep.
can be added right here on the bank feeds as well. I do like
That's
that.
awesome. And we've had product and service for a little bit in the old interface, but I love that it's here too. And I love
Yeah.
the billable too. And I love that it's all on one line. Like that's cool.
Having a class on one line, that's one of those quick
Right.
things, especially for any of my construction clients or any of myself. I've got some
Hmm.
rentals. I
Yep.
have to code that to the individual house. So I do like all of these things. I'm going to stop sharing screen and pass it over to you, Heather, because I know that we want to share digits as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and share digits. So first of all, I want to point out that this file that I'm going to be showing you is was a QuickBooks test company that I converted over. So I just wanted to tell you that it took very little bit of time. You just connect it like you would. You log into your QuickBooks Online. with your credentials. You select the company, you say okay, and then it says come back. And I got an email later. So kind of like it reminded me of when we would upgrade from desktop, or we'd convert from desktop to QuickBooks Online. Exactly the same experience, right? You select the company and then it pulls it in, you get an email a little while later saying, hey, your information is ready. So you've got that. This is the home page. So this is the dashboard. This pulled over. Oh, the other thing that I would tell you is it only goes back 2 years. So when I went to go import, it said, when do you want to import? And I could only go back to August 26th, 2023. That was the earliest that I could go. So you also have the opportunity to upload a CSV file or an Excel file. And I believe you can also convert from Xero. Um, I believe you can convert from Xero, and I think other applications as well. So that experience was actually really good. And then after you complete that, it asks you to connect your bank and credit card account. So I did both just to show you. And I'm just going to go through with you real quick. I'm not an expert. We're doing this together. And if you want to come off of and say something or ask me to do something, Liz is going to watch the participant panel and just raise your hand. And what she'll do is she'll allow you to talk. And if need be, we can promote you to a panelist. Okay, so let me go ahead and get started. So we've got our dashboard here. We've got expenses over time, and we've got our revenue over time. And my revenue here, it didn't, one of the things I will let you know is when it converted my data from QuickBooks, it only converted the sales numbers. It didn't convert any of my invoices. So your AR does not come over when you do the conversion from QuickBooks. And to set up invoicing, it appears that the invoicing, you have to set up a bank account, a payout method in order to use the invoicing feature in Digits. Now, I have not verified that. I have not reached out to support, Liz, to
Mm.
ask them, is there a way around this? I did do a quick search of their help to see if I could find a way to do it. It doesn't appear that you can actually use the invoicing without adding a bank account. So, and I think that probably makes sense because they want to use the AI to reconcile the payments and everything else, but it didn't appear that I could do that.
So I wonder if
So,
it's wanting you to add a bank account, like a chart
yeah, because
account,
I
or if it's
filled it
wanting
out a
you
couple
to,
times. I kept getting stopped. I'd get to the point
okay,
where I didn't want to add an account and then I couldn't save it. So,
got it.
again, I have not reached out. And Digits, if you want to come happy hour, reach out to Liz and I, and you can tell us how to do that. I couldn't figure it out. So, and if anybody is a Digits user and you know the answer to that, please chime in the chat, please. All right, so we've got that. We've got our revenue. You can add your users. It's going through and telling me some metrics here so that I spent, which I love. And I love the fact, this is one of the things I loved about Digits when it was just doing reporting, is that it's so intuitive, Liz. Like it actually anticipates what I want next before I know what I want next, right?
Wow.
So when I'm going to operating expenses, it just pulls it up. I don't have to click on it. I don't have to think about it. It's like, oh, there's all my operating expenses. And I can click into top vendors, my top transactions. I love that. Um, so these are just some of the reports on the dashboard. You can edit the dashboard if you need to, um, add or remove things. So that is customizable, which I really liked. For the bank and credit card accounts, this is what their bank feeds look like. So, this is my operating account, August 9th. It looks like, again, sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, right here, transfers to, I didn't put a party. So it's asking me transfer from to something else, or I could select an account down here. Um, uh, so you can see your accounts here for your credit cards. Here's my, I'm just going to let you know right now, I did not categorize any of these. So every category that you see is how it categorized it. So Uma, while it is a subscription, is actually my telephone. So I might want to make a change to that, right? So I could go in and, oops, that went back to software subscriptions. I might want to go ahead and change that. So, Oh, and that's on my liability, so it's actually just showing me my balance. So I do like that. Your bills, this was cool. So Liz, this is one of our bills. You can go ahead and just upload a bill. So if you go in here, I'll just do this invoice. I don't know if this is I think that's the same one that I just did. So it goes ahead and it uploads it, and then you can see it's very, we see that this in a lot of the AP apps that we use already, where it's got the actual invoice and it's scraping it and giving us the information. So it did not know what it was for. So there's some activity I mean, there's an opportunity for improvement with AI. They could have gone out and scraped this and searched for Pay Progressive with the address and probably figure out that it's a web design company and make a better recommendation. So very cool. All right, invoices we already talked about. We've got our vendors over here. I did have a question about it bringing in the summary for the trial balance. And let's go to reports and take a peek.
Oh, I
So,
love that because we did
yeah.
have a question. So,
So let's go in and let's look at our balance sheet and let's go back to let's go to 8 quarters, which should bring us back to Q4. And it's not letting me, and this is just user. You guys understand, I'm not, I am not an expert digits user. I'm not really sure how to get into the transactions.
I think it's always helpful whenever you're navigating a software and don't know,
Yeah.
um,
Oh,
you
details right here.
how easy it is to figure it out.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I would imagine that there should be a general ledger, right? Report. No, there's not. Interesting.
Hmm.
I don't know the answer to that, Michelle. I don't have the answer to that. So I can't answer you. I'm sorry about that. So we've got our custom, and there's got to be a general ledger though. There's got to be a general ledger. I don't see it though. Um, Let me see a general ledger report. Nope, just got my customers. Interesting. Huh. I mean,
Oh,
here
wait,
is
ledger. What's
this
that
is
one?
our ledger.
Yeah, but this is,
Interesting, right?
yeah, that's just transactions. That's not really showing cumulative.
Retained earnings. Zero. Okay, so here's our opening balance. So yes, it's making a journal entry. I think I just answered that question. So that's balances and that's transactions. So there's a lot I like about it. Um, it feels the left nav bar is very similar to QuickBooks. The category manager, this is our chart of accounts. Um,
And Digits has been available to the public for purchase only a short time.
mhm, yeah. I did want to spend just a second to show you the different connections. So I've got this connection of American Express, but then we also have apps. So there's not a ton of apps. Looks like we have Gusto, we have Bank and Cart. So 12,000 financial institutions, Bill, Gusto, Ramp, and Stripe are what they're starting with. So I would imagine as they get more customers, they'll be adding more connections. But I felt like it was important since we are Appy Hour to show what the integration options are. Is there anything else? If you have a question or you want to see something in Digits before we switch over to Puzzle, which Liz is going to demo, can you just raise your hand? Or you can
Yeah,
put it in. Michelle's saying,
yep.
can I run a balance sheet with prior year? So let me go to my financials. Let's go to balance sheet. Um, Average deltas, quarterly deltas, totals. Yes, there you go. So yes, it will show prior years. I think the big challenge if you're switching from any application to another application is the terminology is going to be different. The interface is going to be different. I always call it grocery store syndrome, right? Or supermarket syndrome, where everything's typically still there because it is a general ledger. It's just in a different aisle, and it's probably called something different, right?
I love that.
Yeah. All right, Liz. Anything else? Anybody else want to see anything in digits before we log out? And I know this is really high level. Hopefully we'll get digits on Appy Hour so they can do a true deep dive demo in the future. All
I don't
right.
see anything else.
I don't see anything else. I'm going to hand it over to you, and I would love to see puzzle. I'm super curious.
All right, so I did not have time to upload a demo company and do like what you did, Heather, but they do have their own demo company, and so that is what I'm going to show. So let
Perfect.
me do big screen here, and this is their demo company, so anybody can go and try this.
Oh,
So
that's
get
awesome.
started. Yeah, I like their dashboard.
Did you have to set up did you have to set up an account to get to the demo, or can you just
No,
go,
well,
no?
yes, I did. Yes, I did.
You
I
did?
did
Okay.
set up an account, and I did say
Okay.
that I was an accountant, and um, I did want to demo, and I did want to view it. So that was something that I did do. Let's see. So it wants me to kind of walk through. This is like a click here type of demo. So I like
Mhm.
that. So go to transactions, and then it's saying, hey, if you want to filter the transactions, you can filter it to not categorized. Okay, so these would be the types of transactions that we would be looking at. So then if you click on this, what it's showing you is that like regular bank feeds, that we would see in QuickBooks Online, what they're doing is very similar. So they're saying, if you want to help categorize, they're going to do a Google search for you. And so you can do this AI categorization, and it can pull in and it can say, based on what we know about this particular vendor, here's what we would recommend. But then as the user, you can put in here laptop. And then all of a sudden it's going to come back and it's going to say, oh, would you like to create an asset?
Oh,
So it's
that's cool.
right. Okay, so I like that. So it's telling us, yes, go ahead and create an asset. So up here in our fixed assets, automatically at the same time that we're creating and coding this transaction, we can create this brand new fixed asset with the name on there. So we can tell it what it is, what date it came into service, the use life of it, submit, and now we've got depreciation, a new fixed asset, and we can start to track that particular transaction. I like
That's
that.
really cool.
I thought so too. So, that kind of thing happens often. And so, what our team
Yeah.
does whenever we see a transaction that is a large dollar amount that we're not sure about, we'll wait and we'll like talk to the client. What was this? What was it for? And those kinds of things. And then we come back and you got to create the fixed asset account, and depreciation is something you think about later. So I like that it's baked in to
Hmm.
the bank feeds. So that was doing it one by one. Here's in bulk.
Ooh.
Yeah, so if you wanted to do categorize a selected transaction as computer hardware, so create rules. So it's telling you how to create rules. I think with anything new, being able to learn how to use the software is important.
Hmm.
We're familiar with creating rules, so this feels familiar. So, okay, so we're going to assign a category to it and we're going to save the rule. And then we want to see how it does it in bulk. So now that we've got a brand new rule, we could, now we're going to come over here and look at understand your cash, revenue, and expenses. So easy find variations in your financial data. This is one of those areas that we talked about early on. Why is AI important? It is the analytics. So, Liz Farr, you were talking about one of the solutions that you were talking about. The first thing that they did was started to go in and utilize it in the reporting. I think that's smart because that's where we need help with the advisory piece. AI does a beautiful job there. So zero in the specific transaction. You can get the breakdown of that transaction and how it's impacting the statement. So what's driving that number? So you can go into it deeper. This is something that I'll probably click through kind of quick. So Stripe
Mhm.
integrations, a lot of people struggle with third-party payment processors, especially if you're doing anything with e-commerce or web
Well, that's
stores.
really cool. So it does the fees automatically. Nice.
Yes.
And it posts all pending. That's really, really, really cool. What other integrations? Can you click on the integrations tab? We have 5 minutes left. I want to make sure we get through.
So this
Super
is going to
cool.
lead us through it. So I'm not going to be
Oh,
able to
perfect. Okay,
all of those
great.
integrations. But transactions, journal entries, you can actually toggle between it. I actually liked that because there's times whenever I don't want to have to open up the journal entry screen. This is like,
That's awesome.
yeah, this is like a toggle back and forth. So it makes it a lot easier to utilize. And I can say one of the things that we're doing within our firm is in the beginning of September, we're going to start testing Puzzle. It is not for every industry, it is for service-based industries right now.
Mm-hmm.
So starting small, it's starting easy. I want to be really clear that they have set their target market to be that it's those service-based businesses, which we fit into. They're going to be opening it up to other professions, industries later on, but right now that's where they're beginning. And they have been live for 5 years, and they have been allowing customers to sign up for I think four of those, and
Awesome.
they are in a place right now where they're able to. I'm gonna stop this share and go back to over to our slides. They're in a place where they're taking on new accounting firms that have service-based clients and want to try it out and test it. So as our firm starts that in September, I will give you more updates into Puzzle and our feedback about Puzzle. And I'll let you know as our firm learns.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that there's a lot more functionality in Puzzle than what I saw in Digits as far as the analysis, which is surprising because in the reporting, in the Digits, the reporting version, there was a lot of that analytic.
Mhm.
But I'm not seeing that here. And it could be, I found it. Can I share my screen for a minute?
Of course.
It was hidden. So I just stumbled upon this. Right over here, we have agents. So so the reason I don't see that feature where you can go through and do the analysis of the actual books, the accounting agent, is because I don't have the right upgrade. So I must have
Mm,
gone with the middle
$65
one.
version.
Yeah. So it does have it. I'm sorry I didn't upgrade, and if we had more time, I would have. But I think that's important to call out that functionality is in digits. It's just not in the plan that I was demoing. So I think that's important to call out to everybody. So,
It is, and I think that the other thing that's important too is the marketing of the solutions that we're using.
hmm,
And
totally.
this is one of those that I'm sure y'all have seen, but that positioning of marketing, I'll share that we are now competitors with Intuit. I'm not going to play this where you can hear it, but this is an Intuit enterprise ad. This is a business, and he's talking about that he's got 12 entities. He was using a fractional CFO. He said, but now that he's got Intuit Enterprise, it has the ability to have the features that he wanted. And so he's not having to leverage his accountant and CFO as much. I think that that kind of marketing is marketing that as we're looking at these solutions, it matters to our firm. So I know that this is something that these are our positions, our jobs, and those jobs that we have are changing. We have to acknowledge that it's changing, And we have to also be aware of the messaging that the solutions that we're using, what kind of messaging they're sending to our clients.
I could not agree more, Liz. I think it's, partner is partner. And, I think it's important that, that you feel good about the relationship that you have with,
Absolutely.
with your, with your partners.
Those relationships certainly matter. So I know
Mhm.
we're at the top of the hour, so I will share with everybody that there's more that we're going to be doing around this topic. And what do you need to be doing? You need to be looking at the AI that's available. You need to be asking these types of questions. You need to know what's happening with that data that's being collected. How is that being used? And the future direction is also including voice. So right now, a lot of what we do is input via computer, but that's changing. And so that's part of what I think is going to be helpful to us and to our clients. And it's like you said, Heather, we want our clients to be able to interact with the tools that we're utilizing.
We do for sure. I think that, this is what's going to be coming for sure. I think that we have to make sure that we're vetting these solutions, uh, not only for ourselves, but for our clients, and be aware of what's out there in the market. We also need to, as you said, Liz, know what is being said. What is the marketing, right? What is the messaging that's going out there for sure? It is going to get, we're on a fast and wild ride, it's going to be really fun and probably a little terrifying.
I agree. I agree. And that's why we're doing so much to dive into this particular topic of AI. And so on the 9th, we're going to be diving into apps, AI apps, and it's going to be an open conversation. So it's going to be one of our appy hours that I happen to love. Everybody is going to be joining as a panelist, and we're going to have conversations about what AI apps you're using or apps that you're using that have AI baked into it. What's your feelings about it? And so that's going to be a great open conversation, and that will take place on September 9th.
Yeah, so we're also doing a firm spotlight on September 2nd. That is going to be on Facebook Live only. We're really excited to be interviewing CPA business advisors. So make sure that you're watching for that and join us on Facebook. And then we're going to have a SmackDown, right? On November 11th, Liz and I are going to go head to head. I'm going to be team ChatGPT. Liz is going to be team Copilot, and we're going to go up against each other for the battle of the GPTs.
Can't
Yeah.
wait.
I know, it's going to be so fun. So we're
I
excited. So yeah, and stay tuned. We'll have lots of episodes that we're working on but haven't announced in the meantime. And I will be at Intuit Connect. Um, so if you are going to Intuit Connect, come find me. Love to see you.
Well, thank you for everybody for joining us, and we look forward to next time.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.